Hello and welcome to the show. Today I'm actually quite excited to share this coffee here from a new coffee roaster, sort of a new coffee roaster, Necessary Coffee. I'm going to tell you more about them in a moment. First off, got Necessary through Trade. So if you haven't watched the intro sort of Trade video, Trade is a coffee subscription service, and just kind of checking them out right now. So this is one of the coffees I got through them. So you can get this coffee through Trade. You can also get it directly at Necessary, and I'll link to both in the video below. In order to tell you what's really cool about Necessary, I think I need to explain a little bit about coffee farming, because there's a particular challenge with the production of coffee that Necessary is aiming to deal with. So I think it's really easy, especially at the level that we're enjoying coffee at, to think about specialty coffee, coffee in terms of the farm it came from. And I actually kind of judged the book by its cover. First time I looked at this coffee, it says Ethiopia. There's no farm specified. And my initial reaction to that was, well, that seems a little short-sighted. But there's very good reason for this. So when we enjoy specialty coffee, a whole lot of times you have the farm as like the name of the coffee, or the region at the very least, because we like to get as close to the origin of the coffee as possible and showcase the farmers and that sort of thing. Well, specialty coffee is determined on a rating system. So what happens is people who are certified in rating, called Q graders, and they're certified by the Specialty Coffee Association, which kind of organizes all of this throughout the world, and determines the quality based on taste and aroma from like an objective analysis. What is good and what is not in coffee, and they do it on a point rating system. And I think everything above, I want to say everything above 85 is specialty. It's a 100-point rating system. I'm not 100% sure on that, and that's not the point of this video here. You have the highest rated coffees as specialty, and then there's grades below that. So imagine a farmer producing an entire farm's worth of coffee. Well, you might enjoy some really high quality specialty rated coffee from a farmer. Not all of their coffee is specialty rated, because you just can't do that. You're growing coffee on a farm, you produce it to as high quality as you can, but you're always going to have a range of rating on your coffee. So what happens is people who are buying lots of coffee from farmers will go to the farm, if they're buying it directly from the farmer, or to the mill center, or wherever it is that they're buying the coffee from, and they will test different lots and rate them out. So what we're talking about on the farm level here, so a importer or buyer, maybe it's a coffee roaster, is going to the farmer, testing out their different lots available that they have, rating them, and then buying lots based off what they like. So what often happens is the farmer will have, let's just for the sake of visualizing this, this is not the actual rating system. I'm not trying to get into the weeds on this and the actual details. I'm just trying to create a visual picture of what's going on. Imagine buckets of rating from like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7 different categories, let's say. And let's say that A through E are like good tasting coffees. That's a lot of coffee. Let's say the farmer's good, like really skilled, producing a lot of really good coffee, and like 70% of the coffee is really good. It's objectively delicious. You know, you or I will enjoy it. But let's also point out that only A and B are actually specialty rated. And they have this large section of coffee that's not technically specialty coffee for one reason or another, but it's still good coffee, it's still delicious. And also let's point out that while maybe 70% of the coffee is good, maybe only 20% of the coffee is specialty rated. Again, I don't know what the actual numbers are on average, and I'm sure it differs greatly from farm to farm, just trying to illustrate a point here. The problem that happens is producers, roasters, whoever, importers are going in, they want the high rated coffee because that's what sells well. That's when you go to a specialty coffee roaster and they're selling a bag of 12-ounce roasted coffee for $18 to $20, that's a specialty rated coffee that's in that high zone. When you get below that, you can't sell the coffee for as much. And it's also not the main point that a lot of people in specialty coffee are trying to do, which is to explore like down to the lot or the farm, these high graded coffees, that kind of thing, trying to go up in this direction. So importers, roasters, whoever is buying coffee will come in and take A and B and not the rest. So imagine you have all these farms who are producing a lot of really good coffee, and what's happening is the people who are spending a lot of money on the coffee are only buying the good stuff and leaving the farmer to sell the rest to who now? Because the people who are buying the expensive coffee are not buying that. So they have to then sell off the rest of their stuff to whoever they can possibly sell it to. Again, broad generalization, but that kind of illustrates one of the major problems. Okay, in comes Necessary. So Necessary Coffee is an offshoot brand of Passenger, who's been around for quite a while. Passenger coffee roasters, they do a lot of really good work. They roast specialty coffee. Well, they saw this problem, and what they have decided to do to try to address it is, instead of buying A and B, the specialty roasted coffee, or the specialty rated coffee, they are buying A through E, like all the stuff that's good, that tastes good, that they can sell. And they're doing, I'm presuming this, I don't have the actual details on it, but based off what I've read, they're using A and B for Passenger, and then they have the rest of the good coffee, and they're doing it through Necessary. And Necessary's brand is about bringing really good quality tasting coffee to people who they're kind of trying to bridge the gap between the average and specialty, and that's kind of where that coffee fits. And it actually accounts for a lot of coffee. So not only is that a very interesting thing from like a marketing, branding, selling coffee perspective, but it also is extremely helpful to the farmers, because Passenger is not coming in and just buying this top 20% of their coffee or 10% or whatever it is. They're buying as much as they can and not leaving the farmers to fend for themselves. So this is a really good thing on a like farm and production of coffee level, and a very interesting thing I think as well on a consumer experience enjoyment level, because you can get presumably good tasting coffee. I actually haven't opened this yet, and we're going to do that here and try it out. But you can get good tasting coffee on at a lower, more affordable price if you like. I'm just going to read the back here because this kind of explains in brief. The specialty coffee industry has increased what coffee producers are capable of being paid, sometimes purchasing small amounts of boutique varieties for remarkably high prices. Still, there is a tremendous gap between the prices paid for these unique coffees and those paid for the vast majority of coffee from any given harvest. So they're trying to pay the farmers for as much of their harvest as possible, selling the higher rated stuff under their Passenger brand and everything else they can under the Necessary brand. So what we have here is their Ethiopia coffee, and this is a collection of coffees from many different farms. So they've taken the, well, technically lower rated coffees that are still really good and combined them to make a good coffee. So we're going to try that out. I'm going to open this up here in a second and have a smell, and then I'm going to brew it on the Kalita Wave and have a taste, and we'll see what we see. Sound good? All right. So this says Ethiopia. It actually says tastes like caramel cooked peach. So because I know that it's not from a single lot. Oh, wow, that aroma's already coming out here. I'm expecting something more generalized in terms of taste and aroma experience. Looks really good. Smells good. Smells, I'm mean, it says cooked peach on the package, so now that's what I'm thinking of, and it does smell like cooked peach. That's really intriguing. There's kind of a generalized sweetness to it, which makes sense if they're combining a lot of different coffees from different farms and that sort of thing. I see a little oddly colored bean in here, which happens like, I should probably just pour this out and try to pick it up. There it is. There's just like a really tan bean in here. This looks like what Jesse would call a well-developed light roast. Yeah, smells nice. I have a feeling this is going to be an enjoyably tasting coffee. I mean, it looks good. Here's the funny thing, I think, about specialty coffee is that we get really into this like rating system, these high-rated coffees. I think, I'm not sure blind, I could even tell the difference between a large range of rating. It's the kind of thing, I mean, the rating system is developed by the Specialty Coffee Association, and you have to be a Q grader to officially do the ratings, and that is a very, very challenging thing to become. There's a very intense like tasting and smelling test that you have to go through to get the certification. It takes a lot of skill. The average person who enjoys specialty coffee, I don't think is really going to notice the difference between a lot of grading scales. So I think that makes this brand really intriguing because they're producing coffee that is above, well, I think well above average. I'm saying just from the smell, like the aroma and looking at it, well above the average coffee in the world, and doing a really good thing. Okay, so I'm going to brew this up on the Kalita Wave and then come back. Okay, we're back now. I brewed it up on the Kalita Wave, as I like to do. I think this coffee actually pretty good for the wave because there's some like good sweetness to it, but I think not a whole lot of bright complexity. So like there's that kind of peachiness to it. Yeah, that's a nice, I mean, caramel and cooked peach is a really good description. I'm not sure I can get better than that. Good like base level of sweetness. Yeah, this just feels like a nice cup of coffee that I would enjoy just drinking. Sessionability, I think, is perhaps what that's referred to. Like a coffee that you can enjoy just coming back to over and over. Nothing like astounding about it, and I obviously wouldn't expect there to be. You know, it's kind of the point, but this is a good tasting coffee. There's a little bit of roastiness in there, I think, but I think it's good having it a little bit more developed because you are taking a conglomeration of lower rated coffees. You want to caramelize the sugars a bit more to bring out some more enjoyable sweetness, but it's still like a well-developed light roast, maybe I mean, they call it a medium roast. Yeah, I'd call it a medium roast, that's fine. It looks lighter than a medium, but it has more of the roastiness of like a medium. So yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, I think I like it on the Kalita. You know, good depth of sweetness, richness to it, but not crazy. Just a good, enjoyable coffee. So again, that's Necessary Coffee Roasters, and I got this through Trade. So I'll link to Trade below. I'll link to Necessary, and I'll link to an article which explains what they're doing as well. So you can read more about that if you like. Really delicious coffee. Might see if I can talk to them and learn a bit more exactly about all the things that they're doing. If you have any questions, I know that my description of like the tasting of the coffee was a bit short. It's just really simple. Yeah, tasty, sweet, a little bit smooth. There's the roasted peaches. There's the caramel. It's good stuff. Yeah, nothing more to it. And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of the point. If you have any questions about coffee, this, you know, the Necessary, coffee in general, what I'm doing here, etc., please comment below. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.